Hi everyone, I'm Kat and welcome to my channel, Naturally Beautiful Girl. For a while now, I've been filming videos about my makeup brushes and then not posting them, and I'm never quite happy with what I've been doing with them. I've tried doing reviews of particular brands of brushes, but I haven't really liked that format. I don't know, I just haven't been happy with any of them, and so I had a different idea today. I was going to instead talk to you about the makeup brushes that I actually use and why I like them, and just kind of go through them that way, and also do a little bit about how I like to clean my brushes, and just kind of do an overall brush video, because I feel like there's so many brushes out on the market. It's a little bit overwhelming and it's hard to figure out what brushes are good and what they're actually good to be used for, because what I find when I look online in particular is I'll look at a brush online and it'll say this is this type of brush. Sometimes when I get it in person, it looks different than what I thought it looked online, and then I end up using it for something else, or I end up just not liking it. So there's all these kind of different things that happen. So I thought I'd just kind of walk you through the brushes that I like and what I've been using. I think I'm going to go through this by brand. I think that will be the easiest way to do this. So one of the first vegan, cruelty-free brush brands I tried out was Fearless Cosmetics. There's a couple different lines of Fearless Cosmetics, but this line that I have here has a black handle, a black ferrule, and black bristles with like this teal kind of color at the top, which is really cool looking. I have one that I don't like, but three that I do like and use. And the one I don't like is this Fearless MF2 brush. I thought it was going to be smaller than it actually is. It's really quite a large brush. If you can see, I'm like holding it up next to my eye here so you can kind of get a proportion here. But it is a pretty large brush. I just find that I can't figure out how to use it. It's really densely packed. I was trying to use it to set my under eye area for a while, but then I figured out that I actually just don't like it. So if you guys have any ideas of how I can use this, I'm open to it, because I have it, but I just can't figure out how to use it because it is so densely packed and so large. So I don't know. I got it, but I don't love it. The next brush that I really love is this Fearless MF1 brush. If you look at it compared to the MF2, it's a little bit bigger than the MF2, but as you can tell, it's much fluffier. It has a lot more give to it. It is relatively dense. You can't squish it down that small, but it works super well for applying blush. This is my favorite blush brush that I've ever found. And I have to say that I am a person that likes relatively dense blush brushes. It applies much more blush, which allows me to just kind of get it done and get it on my face faster. It is something you have to get used to, because you can't just like go in with a huge amount of blush with a dense brush. You have to kind of knock some of the product off. But when you do that, it works really well. And another thing I really like about this brush is, if you notice, I have pretty large cheeks, and so this allows me to cover a lot of area really quickly. And a lot of blush brushes are kind of small, and I find I have to like swirl it here and swirl it here, and then kind of go up and down to actually cover my large cheeks. And so this works really well to get the apples, and then I just kind of go and blend back and blend towards my temple area. So I love this blush brush from Fearless, and this is the MF1 brush. Another Fearless brush that I really like is this ME5 brush. And this is an eyeshadow brush, and I got it thinking it was going to be a packing brush, but I'm gonna try and hold it horizontal for you here, but it's not that flat, so it's not the best packing brush. So if you want something to just like pack a pigment or a shimmery eyeshadow on your eyelid, I don't like this for that. But it is kind of a nice cross between a packing brush and a blending brush. So what I like to do with this one is, if I want to go and add a little bit of a darker color to the corner of my eyes and blend it up into my crease, this works really well because I can kind of pack it on, but then I can also blend into my crease. So it works really well for that. This is an example of a brush that I bought thinking it would be a packing brush, but it isn't, but I have found another use for it that I do really love. The final Fearless brush I have is the MF3 brush. And this is a really nice angled brush, and it's flexible, but it's also pretty densely packed. But the angle on this is perfect, and I love using it to contour. It makes contouring so easy because you can just go along the hollows of your cheek, and because of the angle of this, it just contours very naturally. You don't have to work at it. It's really great if you feel uncomfortable with contouring or unsure of how to contour or where to contour. It makes it so easy and really kind of foolproof because you just gotta go whoop and right along the hollows of your cheek with this shape. And this is the first angled brush I really liked. I've tried a few other ones and I just have not liked them. This one I really do like. With all the furless brushes, like I mentioned, they are vegan and cruelty free. Furless is an Australian company, but they do ship to the United States, and they have, I believe, a distribution center or something in the United States, so the shipping is not outrageous. It's very, you know, it's like as if you purchased something in the United States. And they all are super soft. That is one really nice thing about the furless brushes. They are all really soft. My two favorites, if I had to tell you two to go get, it would definitely be this blush brush, so the MF1, and this angled brush, the MF3. Out of all of them, these two are my definite favorites. Next, I'm going to move to MOTD cosmetic brushes. And I got these rather recently. I got them back in February. MOTD Cosmetics was having a half off sale, and so I picked up a set of their eye brushes. So I only have eye brushes from them, but I am dying to pick up some of their face brushes because I love their eye brushes so much. And with MOTD Cosmetics, they are also vegan and cruelty free, and I'll pick this up to show you, but they all have a nice black handle, a rose gold ferrule, and these kind of like two-tone bristles. They're really lovely. The one kind of cute thing about MOTD Cosmetics brushes is they all have really adorable names. And so the first one I'm going to talk about here is the Eye Catching Crease brush. And this brush is pretty densely packed, as you'll see. Like, it doesn't have a ton of give to it. But what I really love about this brush, this is really great for getting in that crease. It's really hard to find small enough crease brushes that actually get into my crease area. And so this does this really well. I use it to kind of lay down the color in my crease. It's not the best for blending because it is pretty dense, but it's really great for getting the color in the crease area and keeping it where you actually want it. So if you have small hooded eyes, this brush has been a lifesaver for me. And once I get the color in the crease of my eyes with the Eye Catching Crease brush, I like to go in with this brush, which is the Blending Bestie. And this is a bigger blending brush, but it's not, as you can see, it's not giant. It's not a ridiculous size, so it's still good for me with small hooded eyes. And I use this to blend out the color that I lay down with the Eye Catching Crease brush. And the nice thing about this is it is so soft. It's not scratchy, it doesn't pull at your eyes. Some other blending brushes I've tried can be really scratchy and actually kind of irritate your crease area because you need to blend a lot to get a good eyeshadow look. And so this makes that so much easier and so much less painful, you know, because it's not like scratching at your eyes. So I really love this brush too. So we know I was on the search for a pigment packing brush, and MOTD has one called the Pigment Packer. And this is a perfect packing brush. As you can see, it is really flat and the bristles are super dense. So this is perfect for applying like a shimmery eyeshadow. I love it for applying some of the loose root eyeshadows. It works really well for that. You can use it wet, you can use it dry. It is just a great brush. And I used to apply a lot of shimmery eyeshadows with my finger to really pack on the color, but this brush does such a great job. I rarely use my finger anymore. I can just use this brush and my look will be fantastic. So if you are looking for a good brush to pack on pigment, definitely need this. And this is hard to find. Like, good pigment packer brushes are rare. So this is a really, really great find. The next one here is the Straight to the Point brush. And this is a really nice angled brush. And it's a little bit thicker of an angle brush. It's not ridiculous, but it is a little bit thicker. And I love this if I want to add some color to my lower lash line. I can use this brush and really get right up against my lower lash line and kind of line my lower lash line with an eyeshadow. I also use it to kind of line my upper lash line with an eyeshadow as well. So this is a really great brush to use to kind of line your lash lines. Once again, it is soft, so even though you are going to a very sensitive area of your eye, it's not pokey, it's not scratchy, so that is really nice. So this one is the Miss Shady Lady brush. So I got this one because I got a set and I got 6 eye brushes that I got to pick, and I wasn't really sure about this one, but it kind of looked interesting. And so I went ahead and got it. I wasn't sure how I was going to use it, but I thought, you know, it's kind of a flattened blending brush, it'll work. And this is another brush that I have ended up liking if I want to pack on some, like a darker corner on the outside of my eye and then blend it into my crease. This is also really great for that. And sometimes, to be honest, if I want like a lighter wash of color over my lid, I can go in with this brush and kind of pack a little bit of color on my lid, but it's not as intense as a Pigment Packer. And also if I just need some like blending backup, my blending Bestie is particularly dirty, I could go in and use this to blend in my crease. It's a very good multitasking brush. I wasn't sure how I was specifically going to use it, but I find that it just works really well for a wide variety of different uses. So it's a good multi-purpose brush to have on hand. The last one I got is the No Fudge Just Smudge, and this was supposed to be a brush that you can use along your lower lash line to kind of smudge out eyeshadow. I don't love this brush. This is the only one I got from MOTD that I just am not that huge of a fan of. I thought it was going to be more of kind of a rounded shape, but as you can see here, it's kind of flat. I don't love it for smudging out color along my lower lash line. I find it's a little bit too stiff to do that. It's a pretty dense brush and it's pretty flat. It's like a little mini Pigment Packer. So what I really have ended up using this for is to put highlight in the inner corners of my eyes and like under my brow bone. But I don't love it for that either. I do use it because it is pretty soft, but it's just not my favorite brush. One of the nice things about MOTD cosmetic brushes is you can purchase them directly from the MOTD website, and also Anthropologist's website sells them as well, so that's another great place to pick them up. I'd say the last kind of eco-green, cruelty-free vegan brushes that I have are these from Teri Miyahira. And she has become kind of well known in the green and eco beauty community for her brushes. And I have her 04 powder brush, and I very recently was able to get the 07 brush with a blush. She had like a blush set that launched in her spring makeup, and so it came with the brush, and that's part of why I got it, because I'd heard so many good things about this brush from so many different beauty bloggers. And I'd already had the 04 brush, and I really liked that. And Teri Miyahira's brushes remind me kind of the MOTD Cosmetics brush. They have a white handle, but they also have a rose gold handle and then these like two-tone bristles. And, well, this one does. This one has a white bristle. They're very soft. This brush I do love for applying powder. So I use it to apply my Alima Pure setting powder on my face. And it's really great. If I were to change one thing about this brush, I would actually make it larger because I have a pretty large face. And I like large powder brushes because I can cover a lot of area really quickly, but this is large enough to do the job, and also it's just like the right density of bristles. It's like dense enough to get good coverage, but it's not so dense that it's like you're like putting something really hard on your face. It's bendy, it has a nice give to it. Works really well for applying powder, so I use this brush every single day. I love it. So I was expecting to love this brush because, like I said, this has been one that's been talked about so much, and I really loved the number 4, but this is another case of a blush brush that's not dense enough for me. So this is super, super bendy, like woo, it's a really like bendy brush, but that means that it is not that dense, and it's supposed to be a blush brush. And it's just not dense enough for me to actually like the way it applies my blush. I feel like I have to keep going into the blush and onto my face and into the blush and onto my face. And it's kind of small. And once again, like I said, I have large cheeks. I like something big, one and done on my cheeks. And this, I'm having to go like back and forth all over my cheeks. I feel like it takes forever. Doesn't apply enough color. I don't know. I personally don't like this brush for applying blush. I've not found a use for it yet. So if you guys have another idea of how to use it, I'm open to that. It seems a little big for contouring. I've been thinking about highlighting with this. Maybe what I try next is kind of trying some highlighting. If you're looking for a really soft angled face brush that's not super dense, this is your brush, but I just don't like those things in a blush brush, so this is not my favorite. But I have to emphasize though, this is so soft. Like, this is one of the softest brushes I've ever come across. So this brand is not eco, it's not cruelty free, it's not vegan, but they do have really cheap, very accessible brushes, and that is e.l.f. And so I have a couple of e.l.f. brushes that are kind of staples that I use. This one here, it doesn't have a number, it doesn't have a name, I have no idea what it is. But it's like has a little, it's kind of like a little pointed brush. It has a nice density to it. It's not overly dense and it's fluffy. It's not super soft because it is a pretty cheap brush, but I've been using this for like quite a while now to apply highlight. Like this is my highlighting brush and it just works really well. It applies quite a bit of highlight, which I like having a lot of highlight on my face. So it works really well for that. It's big, so I don't have to keep going over my cheekbones over and over again. It gets the job done quickly. And I think it was like $3, so it was really cheap and it does its job well. I'm very open to getting a better highlighting brush, especially one that's softer, but this one just does its job so well that I haven't found a replacement for it yet. The next two e.l.f. brushes here are from their Beautifully Precise collection, so I like to call this the pretty collection. So they have these really nice clear acrylic handles, these silver ferrules, and these white bristles. And to be honest, I prefer the way these look over the rose gold. I just don't like rose gold. I'm much more of a silver person, so I wish more brushes looked like this, but that's why I got these, because I really like the way they looked. And I have this one here is a 202, and this is a really nice smudging brush. It's a very dense brush, but it works really well to smudge out color under my lower lash line. So that's the brush I end up using to do that job. It's not ridiculously soft, but it's soft enough. This one here is the number 203, and it has a spoolie on one end and an angled brush on the other. And I use this one for my eyebrows. So I love it because it's got an angled brush and a spoolie. I find it's hard to actually find a brush that has both in one brush, because you're gonna want both. So when I use a brow pomade, I love to use this angled brush end to apply the pomade. Regardless of whether I use a brow pomade or not, I always use this spoolie to brush through my brows. So I've been using the Physicians Formula Feather Brow lately, and I still like to go in with this spoolie to blend that product out and really comb my brows into the shape that I want. So it's not an amazing brush, but it does its job. The last one here is like the last Morphe brush that I am using. It's the one holdout. I got this one in a set of Morphe brushes and it's not particularly nice, but I find that I really like this paddle shape to apply the RMS Unpowder under my eyes to set my under eye concealer. So this just works really well for that. I like it so much better than the Furless MF2 for doing that. It's, like I said, it's nothing incredible. I just really like this like paddle shape for applying powder under my eye. I just find it works really well. Before I wrap up here, I just wanted to quickly mention how I take care of my brushes. I did a video on this earlier comparing this brush cleanser to my Sephora's Solid Beauty Blender cleanser, and this is the Benjabel Cleansing Balm. I got this off of Amazon. The ingredients in it are super clean. If you are a solid brush cleanser lover, I would highly recommend checking this out. This is what I use to deep clean my brushes. It really, really does a great job. It makes cleaning my brushes really fast, really easy. It really does get them clean. If you're used to using a solid brush cleanser and you're switching to Green and Eco Beauty and you've been using a Dr. Bronner soap or something like that, but you miss a solid brush cleanser, go check this out. The price is really great. You can get it off of Amazon. I believe I got it with Prime shipping. I think I did. But this is just great. I will never be without this. Recently though, I have been thinking about getting a brush cleansing spray, something that I can use to kind of clean my brushes quickly but not have to do a full deep clean, especially if I want to use them again. And I think especially with having a YouTube channel, that's something that's really helpful, because sometimes I need to, like this morning, I needed to use my brushes to put on my makeup, but then I also wanted to talk about them and I didn't want to show you guys a whole bunch of dirty brushes. I recently became interested in the brand Cocoa Lavish because Ashley from Green Bunny Video mentioned their dry shampoo in like an underrated products video. When I was like perusing the Cocoa Lavish Etsy store, I saw this makeup brush cleanser. And I was like, wait, this is what I've been looking for. And the instructions on it say to use spritz a paper towel and swirl brushes in small circular motions, allow to dry before use. And this works so well. I tried it out for the first time this morning and I loved it so much that I'm here talking about it. And it just contains distilled water, Castile soap, lavender, and citrus essential oils. I can say this stuff smells incredible, it makes my brushes smell incredible, and it cleans them. You obviously still need to do a deep cleanse, but it's really great if you're in a hurry or you're like me and you just want to like clean up your eyeshadow brush so you can use it to apply a different color eyeshadow. This is really great because it doesn't soak your brushes. They can dry really fast, but it still does get them clean and gives them like a refresh. So I highly, highly recommend this. I've only used it once, but I am so excited and so happy I found this. And I believe it was $8 or $9. So I'd been looking at a brush cleanser from Jane Iredale similar to this, but that one was like $20 and this one was $8. So, and also we get to support a small business, a small Etsy store, and the woman who makes this happens to be from Florida, from Tampa, Florida, which is really close to where I grew up, which is really exciting as well. So this is fantastic and I am so glad I purchased this, and this is such a nice little surprise. Definitely will be seeing this in my monthly favorites video. I hope you found this useful and maybe a little bit entertaining. If you liked it, give it a thumbs up and please subscribe to my channel. Also check out some of my other videos. I think you might like those as well. Also, if you would like to be notified of when I post new videos, be sure to hit the little bell button. That way you are notified of when I put a new video up. I try to post Wednesdays and during the weekend. I aim for Saturday, but sometimes it ends up being Sunday just because of stuff that I'm doing. But Wednesday and the weekend are my posting schedules. But if you want to know immediately when I post, be sure to hit the bell. Thank you so much for watching. I will see you next time. Bye!